parade for him there and everything. So, but they wouldn't let him in the country because he's an outcast now over there. He was a man without a country for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was social garbage.
That's what you called him, right?
That's what we used to call him, social garbage.
He was like a man without a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, social garbage. Roger Barrett.
Yeah.
What was the difference between, making the documentary and working on a book?
The thing was, you come to my house and Howie helped me with the book. I never do a book. All the years people tell me, "Hey, Vinny, do a book. Vinny, do." I say, "Nah, I don't want to do a book." But I do a book with Howie because he's the man right here. He's the good guy. This the guy right here. I ain't doing a book without this guy. And thank you, Howie.
Thank you. We had a lot of fun doing this book.
Oh, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of good times,
So, the whole situation growing up in Little Italy, right? It was a very, very different time. I mean, you go to Little Italy now, and it's cafes and boutiques, and, there's very few of those restaurants left and all that. What was the sort of vibe, just on Mott Street, when you were a teenager?
Well, I knew everybody, and everybody knew me. When I walked down my building and I passed all the doors, B18, B19, B20, B20, I know everyone in those doors. I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to the apartment right next door to me, Gene Salisi, and I was a little kid during Halloween, and I used to go knock on the door, and of course, I was a skeleton always because it was only $3 for the costume. Yeah. And I would go, and she, "Who's that in there?" "Oh, it's a skeleton." And about a half hour later, I go back, and she'd give it to me again. And then like a half hour after that, I go back again. She said, "Fix it, I know that's you." I was trying to hustle her. Her husband worked for Fannie Farmer. And when I was a kid, she hear me playing in the hallway and say, "Vincent, come up. Jimmy's got something for you." Bing! I knew just what it was. A box of candy. I come into her apartment right next door to where I live right now. Boom! Sit right down. "Jimmy, Vincent's here." He comes out, an old guy, World War II, lost his eye during World War II. And he came out with, the skinny T-shirt, the black, and he gave me a box of candy and pat me on the head. "Go, Vincenzo, good kid." I go right out in the hallway, sit right there, about from here to there. Me, my cousin, and Frankie knock off that box of fucking chocolate in 2 minutes. 5 minutes, it was gone. It was awesome. I'll never forget that. I used to cry telling that story.
Can you picture this guy on a sugar high?
Oh, yeah. I was a kid. It was great.
Do you regret putting your address on the back of Victim in Pain?
No. This way they know, I have legal status to that apartment.
Fair enough. What about like the early punk days? Like you were, somebody who used to frequent, Max's Kansas City, and even before CBGB's was CBGB's, it was Hilly's on the Bowery, and then there was another club that wasn't a punk club or anything on St. Mark's Place called Electric Circus. That's like a legendary place. Like what was, the vibe and seeing music around that time? What was that like, and how was it different?
Well, the Max's Kansas City thing, well, I'm a CBGB's guy. Of course, even when it was Hilly's turned into CB's. But I go to Max's Kansas City, and I'd walk in there, and there were like all these like glam rockers, like
New York Dolls and
yeah, you know what I mean. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, So, so I go in, and when I book my band in there, and when I go in there, and I brought all the Chinese gangs with me, all the neighborhood kids, because this was my neighborhood. You ain't going to put a show on and make me look bad. Well, I'm going to come. I'm going to do it louder. I'm going to do it faster. I'm going to do it better. We're going to mosh it up. I used to bring a crowd. They say, "Who the hell is this guy?" But I had all the Ghost Shadows, the Flying Dragons, all the Mott Street Boys, all the guys used to come see my band. It was really cool.
And what were some of the bands that were kind of like the bands that were happening around that time? Like Who was big at Max's when you were
Well,
going?
there was like what the Dead Boys, Butch Lutch and the Hypocrites, uh, Smash Rats, Smash Rats. I see Smash Rats. I see Smash Rats, Smash Rats. Yeah, wow. He was a
Everybody.
Gugine from Brooklyn. And he wanted to be punk rock, but he had no idea about punk rock. Let's see, there was the Mad. There was this band, the Mad. They used to put films up, the Stimulators, Loud Fast Rules. Uh, uh, then there were other bands like Von Elmo. Yeah, balding guy, wears glasses, never look at you. He talk to you, but he'd be like, yeah, which I say, this guy's fucking high to myself. But I liked him anyway. He was another Gauchine from Brooklyn. Them morons from Brooklyn, they think they're punk rock. Hey, your mother smells like combat boots. They didn't get it. But come on, get in here anyway. We love you.
So this was probably answered during the film, but what is it about AF that has allowed you guys to stick around this long?
Well, the love I have for Roger and the music and the scene, and so does Roger. I see. Don't believe in a band that doesn't believe in themselves. Because I look at bands and I say to myself, I don't believe these guys. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I could just see, they're soupy. They're weak. There's no, you know what I mean? There's none of that. No balls.
And it's true that you picked band members early on in the band really because of the way that they danced. And you often talk about, like, at the very, very early stages of the band, like, guys would, like, throw their gear down on the floor and and just go wreck people on the dance floor. And you were like, that's what I want.
Yeah. I sent my guy over to Roger. I said, see that guy over there? Go over there and tell him he's an agnostic front. Simple as that. That's how I got Roger in the band. The first time Roger ever saw me, it was in the Peppermint Lounge. And I think Agent Orange might have been playing. And they were doing like the little circle pit there. And I had a mohawk. I always had a mohawk. And I'm standing in the middle of the pit, and then Roger always tells me, I said, wow, is that Stigma? Like, wow, I stand there like that, New York. I stand there for you. Why I hold the guitar up in the air, that's for freedom. Like the Statue of Liberty, like power to the people, like Geronimo on top of the cliff when he lifts up the rifle. You know what I mean? That's why I do it.
I mean,
besides, I'm doing promotion anyway. My name's in the back of the guitar.
Right.
That's the real reason.
He just wants to hold up a guitar with
but
Stigma
I'm just trying to like legitimize it.
I mean, obviously before Agnostic Front, but like from Agnostic Front on, could you have ever imagined that you're sitting here in 2024 still touring the world, you've got a documentary about you, and you just wrote a book?
No, because I never read a book in my life. True. I'm an 8th grade dropout,
Have you read our book?
I read our book because I had to, because we did the audio version.
You told me Maggie read it to you.
Yeah, thank God I had Maggie to help me.
By the way,
God.
we finished the audio book yesterday. It's really happening. Vinny reading it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There was a part that I read about a soldier that I called him in
Iraq.
And I was reading it, and I started crying a little bit. I had a
shout out to Trip, who's here, who was our engineer for the audiobook.
Thank God for Trip. I love you, Trip, wherever you are.
So he said to me, he goes, you didn't hear that, did you? And I was like, no. He goes, Vinny got a little teary-eyed, like while he was reading that. He goes, so, I just want to let you know I left it, when he did.
I'm
I was
glad
like,
you did.
Great. I was like,
I almost started
now
crying
I know
now.
you totally understand.
Check. Yeah. Thank God for Trip. Thank you. He coached me through, the book.
Don't ever do an audiobook. It's such a fucking horrible
I'd rather do it like
process.
this, the book like this. Like, yeah, how you doing, and talk. It's a lot easier.
We'll try that sometime.
Yeah.
But What's it like when a fan or someone comes up to you and is like, "Your band is so fucking important to me, and you got me through tough times and changed my life." Like, what's that like to hear?
It's humbling. It's an honor. It's a responsibility. Uh, it's amazing, that people will sing my songs before they were born, and they come sing along with me. It's very touching, and I make sure I will never lose honor because you could only lose honor. And I would never want anyone to think me bad.
What
Yeah, you.
Wait, which one? What's obviously, you have a book out now that came out Tuesday. If you haven't purchased it, you'll be able to purchase it at the signing from Generation Records. Thank you, who've been incredibly supportive.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark, and everybody over there. Um, what is in the immediate future for you? And you have a country record coming out.
Yeah, I have a country record where you got to help me out with that too.
Yeah, so Vinny
My
has,
manager over here.
yeah, right. Vinny has a country record coming out called The Outlaw Vinnie Stigma.
The outlaw Vinnie
There's
Stigma.
great people on the record. You got Lars from Rancid and Johnny Two Bags from Social Distortion and Jesse from the Agrolites and various other people. And it's a bunch of covers and some original songs, right?
Mostly originals.
And it's coming out two ways. It's coming out through Eugene from Gogo Bordello's label, and then Generation is going to do the physical copies, and so that's coming out. So you have a country record. So bet you didn't know you were going to hear that. And then AF goes on tour this Monday, the U.S. with Sepultura and
One day I
Obituary.
leave on tour with Sepultura. We do U.S. Canada, and I'm going to represent New York.
And then in November, you're going to Europe with Murphy's Law.
Oh, there he is. Jimmy, my love. I love you, Jimmy.
So we're going to take some questions, but before we do, I just want to remind you that there's going to be a signing and the book's going to be on sale in the bar. So after this is over, let's make our way there because they're having Beetlejuice screening in here after this. And Vinny is also going to grace us with a brief acoustic performance. If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you what style of music he's going to play, so we'll stay out of that.
Okay.
But if you don't know,
Emo. I'm going to do emo
yeah,
covers.
he's going to do dashboard confessional covers. And
Get your tissues ready.
so let's see if anybody has any questions. Let's talk with you. Anybody?
Yeah, come on. Don't worry.
So,
Talk.
somebody has to be the first one. Somebody. In Little Italy. Favorite sandwich?
Parisi's, I guess, for a food sandwich. I go to Parisi's.
A food sandwich?
Yeah, well,
As opposed to an animal sandwich.
like a chicken palm.
That's an
Right?
animal sandwich, actually.
Who don't like chicken palm?
I don't. Thank you, Scam Dust. Anybody else with questions? Go ahead. Anybody? Jimmy, you must have a question. There's got to be something you don't know about Vinny. Go ahead.
Yeah, I used to draw a fictional character of myself, and I used to write on it "Stigma kills." But now they say that everywhere now. Ban
Right.
stigma, anti-stigma. I'm like, oh, everywhere I go, I got
They hate you.
yeah, I'm hated. They don't like stigma. Fuck them. Yeah.
Who else? Come on, Jimmy G asked a question. There's got to be somebody. Go right ahead, Chrissy.
And I put stigma on the back of my jacket. And Lazar almost killed me that day. She was like, "Who's this girl just walking around with stigma written on the back of her jacket?" And that's when I got to know Alexa and everybody, and it just completely changed my life from that day on because I put Stigma on my jacket.
Yeah, Lazal, rest her soul. She was a bully. Yeah, but we love her. You know. Yeah.
Back there, Wendy. The pirate hats.
Yeah, well, you know what? Back in the old days, we were as far north as like Boston, far south as like the Virginias, and as far west as the Ohio's.
The
That was
Ohio's.
like about the whole thing. So it was a road trip. We all went to Long John Silver's. We all put the hats. There was like 30 of us in a cargo van. That's how it was back then. And we went and we all had that pirate hat. So we all took a picture. It was fun, you know.
Pirate hat.
All right, that Wendy.
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy. She was on that crucial cruise. That's cool. It's good to see a lot of old school people here too, like Rebecca and you know, and what's that? Jack Wabbit.
Jack Rabbit.
Yeah, I used to say, "Hey, Jack Wabbit." He was on. He was in the film too. Good guy.
So, it just I'm still sort of struck by the fact that Vinnie Stigma has a book, and especially after he says I've never read one, but who if there's one like music personality that you'd like to read a book from, who would that be?
I'm going to throw a curveball. Jacques Brel. I like Jacques Brel. Frank Sinatra. Yeah. But I figure something different, you know? Or that guy, uh, Citron. He's a French guy. I like him too.
I think Jimmy's trying to get your attention. he wants you to say him.
Oh, Jimmy from Murphy's Law. Of course. That's a fast pitch right there. That ain't a curveball.
That was a very strong psst that you have cut right through the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna head to the bar. Vinny's gonna sign some books. Again, Generation is gonna be selling some books. I really, really want to thank everybody for the support. I want to thank Vinny for allowing me to go on this journey with him, and we've gotten such a great response, and we have you and everybody else who's
Number
been
one on
supportive of this.
Amazon.
Yeah, number one punk book for weeks.
Yeah, hardcore landed. Yeah.
We're number one.
We're number one.
We're number one. All right, so we'll see you in the bar, and thank you all for coming.